Hello, my name is Nicole Beattie, and this is my EDN114 assignment for using ICT. So basically the assignment is how you can use ICT within the Australian maths curriculum within classrooms. So what I chose from the curriculum, I chose for the year level of Year 5, the strand, measurement and geometry, substrand location and transformation. The content descriptor was to describe translation, reflection, and rotation of two-dimensional shapes, and identifying line and rotational symmetries. So the elaboration is to identify and describe the line and rotational symmetry of a range of two-dimensional shapes by manually cutting, folding, and turning shapes and by using digital technologies. So this is what we're going to be focusing on throughout the slideshow. So this is what we are trying to move away from is the manually flipping, sliding, and turning of the two-dimensional shapes. So the online tool that I thought to use within the maths curriculum is GEOGEBRA. So it's an online tool to advance and open opportunities to learn about rotation, translation, and reflection. It can also use for other tools and topics within math. So a brief intro of how ICT improves learning is that it expands great opportunities within grasping the learning area. It creates a learning tool for kinesthetic and visual learners, as it allows students to identify how to make each concept. So it allows the student to independently learn, and it demonstrates a higher understanding for the student and sparks a cognitive aspect with identifying translation, rotation, and reflection. GeoGebra is mobile, for example, for it being on technology and easily accessible at home through an app. So students can do it while at home, and parents can also understand what the website's about and how to understand the concepts that they are learning within the classroom. So what is translation, reflection, and rotation? So translation is described as a function that moves an object a certain distance. The object is not altered in any way and is normally distanced from a vector. Reflection, transformation of which a geometric figure is reflected across a line, creating a mirror image. That line is also called the axis of reflection. Rotation, a transformation of which a plane figure turns around a fixed centered point. In other words, one point on the plane, the center of rotation, is fixed, and then everything else on the plane rotates about the point by a given angle. So translation, how to. So here's a video tutorial of it. So basically you choose, for example, making a triangle, so polygon, sorry. So you basically make the 3 points and connect them all together. So to make translation, so you go onto this one and go translate by vector. So you click the object, and then you create the vector, so for example E to F, and then you move it across one square up and a little bit of a square across. Basically they do the same thing, so you make a vector. So this one I made a bigger one, so basically because it was going negatively down, it makes the shape of the triangle straight. So here's another one, and there we go, we saw it moved across around 2 squares across. And one more time, these are just examples of how you can translate on this website. So basically there we go, there's that done. Now rotation, how to. So basically do the same thing. Triangle, I think triangle is just the easiest one to start learning on. Connect the points. So you go rotate around a point. So you click a point. For example, I clicked A, and then you click the thing, and then you do the angle that you want. Then basically you can just continue doing that. So click a point, change the angle. So I did 180 this time, clockwise. And then click another point, and then basically that's pretty much how you do this. And it's always good to start off with triangles as it's something easy and something to always grasp your mind to as a student. So reflection, the last one. So I started off with a triangle again. So it will come up in a second. So there we go. So basically there's a few ones that you can reflect on, but we did reflect about a line. So you just click the A and C line and you can see that it reflect. We did the C and B line, it reflect. The C and A line, it reflect, and you can tell that it just reflects over and over, and it's a good concept for students to do. So what can be some disadvantages? So you can develop technology and ICT skills rather than the learning knowledge and skills. For example, having more computers, internet and ICT tools allows the students to learn on how to use them within the classroom and may be the only skill they have retained within the core curricular subject. Also, using ICT can create a lack of teacher-student relationship. So incorporating more technologies such as iPads and smart boards within the classroom, it allows the technology to be reliant on the teacher to students rather than the teacher themselves. Technology creates a barrier between student and teacher, as students can be allowed feedback from what they did on their technological devices rather than the feedback and guidance from their teacher. Using ICT may distract the learning of students. Incorporating too much technology within the classroom has shown some studies that it may distract some students as they could be reliant and bored from constantly using iPads and learning from them. Plus, also students can get distracted by the features that could be on an iPad, for example, camera, games, and Siri. How is it more efficient than the traditional way of learning? So compared to the traditional ways of cutting and folding paper to present translation, rotation, and reflection, using ICT and GeoGebra has made it more time efficient and engages with students. According to DeWitt and Kay and Rog, they recognized by using ICT within the classroom created a positive impact in ICT effectiveness and pupil learning. This suggests that the use of ICT could engage a student as they live in a technological world. It's also cost efficient and environmentally friendly. For example, instead of buying paper supplies for a full classroom plus extras for each translation, rotation, or reflection, that can end up being over 100 sheets of paper in comparison to doing it online on the GeoGebra application, saving the environment and cost towards the school. It enables opportunities for students to save their work and reflect and analyze where they struggle in and or excel well in. Using ICT and GeoGebra has allowed students to play around with the application, try to understand concepts, and reflect on how they can improve the mathematics topic. For example, ICT in teaching and learning of mathematics are helping pupils in developing problem-solving skills, practicing number skills, and exploring patterns and relationships. It also allows students to work at their own pace and in their own space. While using the traditional method, you would need to all work together efficiently as a class for cutting and folding in order to complete the lesson and criteria in the given time. Using ICT allows students to work at their own speed. For example, stronger students can play around with different translation, rotation, and reflections, while students that struggle can take more time to understand the concept on their own or with the assistance from a teacher. It also impacts students' motivation, engagement, and concentration. As we live in a technological world, using ICT has been studied in improving students' motivation within the classroom and outside the classroom. So Valentine found in their qualitative study that both pupils and parents share the belief that more and proper use of ICT in schools has the potential to increase pupil motivation and confidence, as well as making schoolwork more pleasant for pupils. Here are my references, and thank you very much for listening.